Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian here in Orlando, Florida, where we're covering the Air Force Association's annual Air Warfare Symposium. Our coverage here is sponsored by Leonardo DRS, and it's our pleasure to be talking to Chris Johnson from the Pratt Whitney team, the company that brings you dependable engines, which I always think is great. And you're the Director of Mobility as well as diverse engine programs, which we joked a little bit about at AFA when we last spoke. Chris, bring us up to speed. You guys finished the integration study working with Boeing. Each one of the three companies competing for this, Rolls-Royce as well as General Electric, have done this. Talk to us a little bit about the integration study and what it told you. What do you know now that you didn't know before?
Sure. Vago, good to see you again. Like you said, we've completed the integration study with Boeing and the Air Force, and that's been a great process. You know, the Air Force has had the chance to look at every engine, have Boeing look at every engine, integrate it into their models, confirm the performance and all the benefits they're going to get out of it. That's a ton of risk reduction before they get to the source selection process. So we're coming out of that study really excited about what the Air Force is going to get with the PW800. So the PW800, modern engine, transforming the business jet and the commercial space, so on the Gulfstream G600, G500, Dassault. What it's doing in the commercial space, it's now have the opportunity to do for the B-52. So fantastic sustainment, best in class, world-leading fuel burn, 30 to 35% improvement in fuel burn over the TF-33. This engine is going to deliver fantastic sustainment benefits to the Air Force through 2050 and beyond. What we've also seen out of the integration study is Boeing went through and reported out to the Air Force on what does it take to take these engines, what kind of modifications will probably be needed in order to integrate them into the airplane.
And obviously that's one of the big concerns, right? And one of the reasons why on the B-52, while some earlier iterations were like, hey, we can go to 4 engines, there's actually very good reasons why you have to stay at an 8-engine configuration. For those of us who are fans of the airplane, we like the idea that the B-52 will continue to be powered by 8 engines. But talk to us about that integration challenge of getting this airplane onto that wing.
Yeah, integrating an engine onto an existing airplane can be hard. It's one of the things that we've got a ton of experience with, I think more experience than anybody in the world. And this integration study we've had a chance to prove what a perfectly suited engine the PW800 is for the B-52. So it's the same diameter as the TF-33 within a fraction of an inch. It's shorter, it's hundreds of pounds less weight. In fact, across all 8 engines on the aircraft, it's going to give back 5,400 pounds to the aircraft. I mean, that's not a selection criteria for the Air Force, but that's the right side of that equation that you want to be on. And so just physically, lighter, a little bit smaller, but basically the same size. That means there's a minimal amount of changes that would need to happen on the aircraft side from a structural point of view. And then from just connecting it up, besides physically, this engine is going to be able to fit as easily as possible onto Boeing. And then the next part of that equation is, we've been partnered with Boeing as the propulsion provider on this airplane for its history. And so being able to take that knowledge and that partnership and plug this engine in and work through the integration is something that we think is going to provide a lot of benefit to the Air Force.
And last question, what's next on this program? I mean, I feel like we've been covering it for a very long time and talking about it, but now we are in the actual execution phase. What's next?
Yeah, so we are going to very soon see a final request for proposal from the Air Force. So we are geared up for that. We're going to be putting together the package of information from the integration study. We're going to be showing and demonstrating how the 30 to 35% of fuel burn improvement helps the Air Force. We'll be able to show all the specs like the range improvement of over 40%, which by the way doubles the geographic area that the airplane can cover before needing to hit a tanker, and as well as the sustainment benefits. This engine is designed for easy maintainability. That means it's going to stay on wing, it's going to have a robust commercial supply chain led by all of the commercial airplanes that are out there, so that for 2030, 2040, 2050, the Air Force is going to have these engines performing in a fantastic manner, and they have a bird strike, they're going to have a supply chain that's going to be there to support them.
And down select, when do we expect down select?
I think toward the end of this year, and contract award next year was my understanding. So this program's moving quickly. I think that's why all the risk reduction that's been done is fantastic for the Air Force and is going to set them up well to take the B-52 with the PW800 to 2050 and beyond.
Chris, thanks so much for joining us, and break a leg on the program.
All right, thanks, Vago. Good to see you.